Why songs get stuck in your head, the science of earworms. Right now, somewhere in your brain, a song is waiting. You haven't heard it yet today, but give it a few hours, and it might hijack your entire afternoon without your permission. We've all been there. You're washing dishes, folding laundry, sitting in a meeting trying to look professional, and then it starts. A melody looping. Just a fragment, really. Maybe 8 seconds of a chorus you didn't even choose to like. It plays. Then it plays again. And again. You try to think about something else, but it follows you like a shadow with a very specific beat. Scientists have a name for this phenomenon, an earworm, and almost everyone on Earth experiences them. Roughly 98% of people report having had a song stuck in their head at some point. You're not going crazy. You're just deeply, unavoidably human. What makes earworms so strange is that they feel involuntary. You didn't sit down and decide to mentally replay the chorus of a pop song from 3 years ago. It simply arrived, uninvited, like a guest who knows where you hide your spare key. And the more you try to push it out, the louder it seems to get. So what's actually happening up there? It starts with a region of the brain called the auditory cortex, the part responsible for processing sound. Here's the fascinating part. Your auditory cortex doesn't just react to sounds you hear. It also activates when you imagine sound. When you recall a piece of music, your brain essentially plays it back on its own internal speakers. Neuroscientists call this involuntary musical imagery. The brain, it turns out, is a compulsive pattern completer. When you hear a melody, especially one with a gap, an unresolved phrase, or a satisfying rhythmic hook, your brain wants to finish it. If it can't, it tries again. And again. This is sometimes called the Zeigarnik effect in disguise. We remember interrupted or incomplete things far better than finished ones. Your brain keeps returning to the loop not to torture you, but because it genuinely wants to resolve it. Researchers at Western University and the University of St. Andrews have studied what makes certain songs more sticky than others. The pattern is surprisingly consistent. Earworms tend to have a fast tempo, a simple and repetitive melodic contour, and at least one interval that feels slightly unexpected. A little jump in the melody that your brain finds irresistible to revisit. Songs like Can't Get You Out of My Head, Bad Romance, and Happy consistently top earworm lists globally, and they all share these structural fingerprints. It's not an accident. These songs are, in a sense, engineered to loop. The hook literally hooks. Context also matters enormously. Earworms are far more likely to be triggered by stress, fatigue, or even boredom. States where your brain's default mode is running hot and looking for familiar patterns to latch onto. A word someone says, a smell, a physical sensation, any of these can act as an involuntary cue, pulling a half-forgotten melody out of storage and setting it on repeat. But here's where it gets genuinely beautiful. Earworms aren't a malfunction. They're a feature. Music is one of the oldest and most universal human experiences. Long before we had writing, we had song, and the ability to hold a melody in the mind was how culture traveled, how rituals were preserved, how communities were held together across time. When your brain locks onto a tune and won't let go, it's doing what human brains have always done, clinging to a pattern that meant something, or might mean something, or simply felt good to repeat. There's also evidence that people who are more musically engaged, whether as musicians or simply passionate listeners, experience earworms more frequently and more vividly. Your brain's relationship with music is deeply personal. The songs that get stuck aren't random. They're connected to emotion, memory, identity. That pop song from your teenage years doesn't just loop because of its tempo. It loops because somewhere inside you, it still means something. And there's something quietly wonderful about that. In a world full of noise, your brain chose that melody. It held onto it. It keeps returning to it, like a thought it hasn't finished thinking. Next time a song gets stuck in your head, don't fight it right away. Ask yourself, why this one? Why now? The answer might tell you something surprising about where your mind actually is.